and good morning. It's Phil Thatch, and I'm here today at the Chickamauga Dam, and I've been playing around with the Z50 this morning with the adapted 200 to 500 f5.6, and it's been doing pretty good. It actually catches birds in flight pretty well. I'm not sure how perfectly sharp it is. Kind of having mixed results. I'm not sure exactly how things are going with that, but look how much the spillways are running today. Maybe the most I've ever seen them, the hardest I've ever seen them run. And I've got an idea to make a photograph that some of my YouTube photographers that I follow do at the ocean when they're at a place where there's a beach with rocks and the waves will come in and splash over the rocks, and they'll make the photograph as the water goes back out. I've seen Brendan Vanson do shots like this. I've seen Gavin Hardcastle. Just lots of YouTube photographers do this kind of shot. Well, the beaches I go to don't have rocks of that variety, but right down here, the riprap on the side of the Chickamauga, actually this is the Tennessee River, the riprap here, it's flowing so hard that there's some waves that come and splash on the rocks, and I may be able to make a photograph of those as the water recedes. So I'm going to get started on that. Oh, and by the way, I'm vlogging. This is completely different. I'm vlogging right now with the Nikon Z6 and the 14 to 24 f-mount f2.8 lens. I'm at, what am I at? I'm at like 21 millimeters and vlogging with the Z6. None of the birds in flight photos were any good. It was just ring-billed gulls, and they were very, very far away, so way too small in the frame to get a decent picture out of it. But here is a picture of a couple of tree swallows juxtapositioned on top of this sign. One of them perfectly rock solid in focus, and the other out of focus in a exploration of depth of field. All right, I'm down here at the bottom of the hill now. I had to climb down that hill there that's behind me, and I'm here at the bottom of the hill. I'm using the Z50 and its kit lens. That's the 16 to 50 kit lens. I've got a 77 millimeter filter adapter on there so I can run my 3-stop neutral density and my circular polarizer. And look at these waves rolling in. It's crazy. And it's looking like a quarter of a second is making things look the best. And I really like these rocks because, as you can see, there's some you know, it's not all gray rocks. There's some nice copper colored rocks mixed in. So it's really pretty down here. I've never thought to make a photograph of these rocks and the waves coming in until this morning. Well, there's my setup. Here's the first shot of the rocks with the waves of the Tennessee River generated by the spillways of the Chickamauga Dam after a lot of heavy rain. Really cool. I never thought I would be able to make a photograph of this variety right here at home without driving miles and miles to the ocean. And the oceans I go to, like I say, don't have rocks on the beach. But I was so happy with the way these photos came out, and I don't know why it took me so long to figure out that this was a legitimate photo opportunity. I started out kind of at the long end of the kit lens, and I found this spot where I could shoot kind of straight down and use the 16 millimeter side of the kit lens, which kind of comes out to 24 millimeters full frame equivalent. But it's a pretty neat spot. Somebody's walking by, so I decided I'd wave at them because they're looking at me weird while I'm down here talking to my camera. Okay, so here's 4 more images, and that rock at the top right is the reason I chose this location to walk down the hill. It is what drew me to this spot, but I ended up really liking this spot not only because of that rock, but also because this spot had copper rocks, which a lot of the other areas did not have. Now here is one shot of the exact same location, and same location, slightly different stage of a wave, and then the next wave is a little bit closer in. You'll see kind of a waterfall in the center on the right hand side now. But these weren't all the same wave. I probably took 100 photographs of this exact composition, but these are the ones that I like the best. I'm having my best luck
with the waves as they come in. I know I was talking about some of the people I follow on YouTube, when they're at the ocean, they have their best luck with the waves as they're rolling back out. But in this particular location, I'm definitely getting my best results as they come in like that, because when they go out, there's really not much to it. I guess maybe because this is fresh water and there's not much foam, so you can't really see any action as the waves are going back out. But like I say, right here, it looks best rolling in.
Here's 3 more shots of basically the same composition. You can see my favorite rock now is at the top left of the frame. I did crop these a little bit for composition for the different stages of the wave that they are capturing. And again, this is many waves. And I was using the Z50's fastest drive mode, which is like 11 frames per second, which was really good for trying to catch as much detail as possible in these waves, because you never know how they're going to splash. But again, I'm really thrilled with this location.
There's a spot just a little ways upriver where the waves are really crashing even bigger than here. Not that they're not doing well here, but I'm gonna, actually there's another spot down that way. Anyway, I'm gonna try another location and see if I can, I may even try speeding my shutter speed up to freeze the water as it splashes high in the air. We'll see.
So I did move slightly upstream to a different location, and I found this flat rock that I liked the way the water was coming off of it if I would catch the wave just right. And I made this photograph of it and this one as well with the exact same composition, just slightly different places in the wave. And then in the next photograph, I got a little bit closer. I think I zoomed a little bit closer, and I made this photograph, but I really didn't like the upstream areas as much as I liked the original location downstream. And then I moved around a little bit more and I made this photograph, and I cropped it to 16 by 7. This is Heather's favorite photograph of all of them, but it's the only one from this spot that I liked enough to publish. And then I went back down to the original spot and I made this rock that originally caught my eye the centerpiece in these final 3 photographs. This one has the wave just about to crash on it, and this one has the wave crashing on it, and there's no water in the foreground. And then in this next photograph, it is like some sort of amazing happening with the water crashing over my favorite rock. And look at the water coming from all the different directions. I really love this location.
I have completely killed, actually I hadn't completely killed, I like to change batteries before they run out, but I've almost completely depleted the Z50 battery, so thankfully I bought a second one when I bought it. But I have been wearing it out down here, taking, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of photographs of the water as it crashes over these rocks from various locations down here. And also made some 120 frame per second video that I think is going to be pretty nice. So once again, I started out the day thinking I would do wildlife, and I am in landscape, seascape, riverscape, whatever kind of scape this is mode. Okay, so I ran into a couple of problems while I was down at the bottom of the rocks taking pictures of the crashing waves. The first one was completely my fault. When I depleted that battery, I failed to bring my second battery with me. It's nicely nestled in the charger at home, fully charged, but I forgot to bring it. So that was definitely a rookie mistake. Another one, I was going to take off the 16 to 55 kit lens, and I was going to switch to this 11 to 16 Tokina lens and make maybe an ultra wide shot of the waves crashing. But while I was down there, I had this huge Arca Swiss plate mounted on the bottom of the Z50, and of course I could get this lens off no problem, but the FTZ adapter sticks down below the bottom of the camera and it would not go on without removing that plate. And I didn't have my screwdriver with me down at the bottom of the hill, so I couldn't make that switch. That's probably something all the Z-Series cameras have had a problem with the whole time, but it's never been a problem for me because I always use the FTZ whenever I'm using my Z6, including right now to make this video. But so I'll have to bring a screwdriver with me. Now I do have some smaller Arca Swiss plates, really tiny ones on order, so that may help me with that problem. But for right now, I have to take my plate completely off to switch to a lens that uses the FTZ adapter. Okay, so that's going to do it for me today from the tailwaters of the Chickamauga Dam on the Tennessee River in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to see some more content like this, I'll have lots of Z50 content. I'll continue with Nikon Z6 content from all sorts of genres of photography. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.